Welcome in once again to the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. Tim McMaster here, and stepping into the cage today, Chicago White Sox pitcher Derek Holland. Derek, thanks for taking some time with us to answer some questions from fans, people on social media, and all of that.
Thank you guys for having me, and it's always fun to interact with the fans.
All right, and fans, you know how to get involved. The hashtag Chatting Cage on Twitter. You can use the MLB Fans app or hit that Get in Line button right on your screen, and you can actually ask your own questions of Derek. And we're going to start on social media. Bullpen Redo wants to know, how is pitching for the White Sox, Derek, different from pitching for the Rangers?
It definitely would be the weather is the big thing. But overall, it's not really much different. I mean, no matter what, you're still facing big league hitters. These guys are, paid to hit. And, I just got to do my job. A little different atmosphere with these guys, but it's been a lot of fun. And, Texas was the first home, but now it's Chicago.
You've certainly adapted well with the winter hat with the pom-pom. That's good to see. You're ready for the Chicago cold, and before you know it, things will be warming up, I am sure. We have a fan getting ready to join us. Here they are. Go ahead, tell us your name, where you're from, and ask your question for Derek.
Hi, I'm Simon from Grand Rapids, Michigan. My question is, what is your hobby in the off-season?
In the off-season, I like to go watch sports all the time. I'm a huge Michigan fan. I heard you were from Michigan, so I'm very passionate about the Wolverines. Go Blue. But for me, it's always checking out sporting events, go travel as much as I can, because once we start training and stuff, it's go time again.
And I know you're a big Go Blue fan, Derek, even though you're from Ohio, so you also root for some Ohio teams. That's got to bring up some interesting conversations with the people back on the home front. Sticking to Chicago, though, we go back to social media. Chai Sox 13 wants to know, why don't you rock that sweet mustache that you had in Texas? And as they say that, I see it's coming in, but it was a little late coming this year. What was the debate on whether or not to grow out the facial hair?
This was something with Tyler Saladino. We joked around about the mustache. It's been brought up a few times to bring it back, but I felt like that's a Texas thing. So you got to leave that with Texas. Let's do something different. So we, once again, we're trying something here. We're trying to do the full handlebar here. We'll see how it works out. So far, it's been fun. The guys are enjoying it. We're having a blast with it. But Saladino gets the credit for getting that started.
It's doing all right. I think you're doing well there with it, and we'll see how it continues to grow out throughout the summer for sure. This is the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. We love to be joined by fans. We have another one in line right now. Go ahead, tell us your name, where you're from, and ask your question for Derek.
Name's Noah. I'm from Linguini, and my question is, could you handle Saladino in a wrestling match? I've been wondering that for years, actually.
Well, the question, though, is going to be, what kind of match are we doing? Are we a cage match? It could be a Hell in a Cell. We could do the what we just did, the House of Horrors last night. So, I mean, you depend on the match. We'll see what happens, but I think I've got him taken care of. I know his weak spots.
Excellent. And I know you are a big wrestling fan as well. So you like the I don't want to offend you here, but you like the real sports, but you also like the wrestling and maybe the somewhat scripted sports as well, right?
Well, let's not get too crazy here. I mean, did you watch any of these pay-per-view last night? The guy lost a tooth. I mean, you can't script that. Those are things that just happen. So, what the WWE's been doing is fantastic. I'm glad I get to be a part of that. I got to meet a few of the guys, and one of the coolest stories about the whole thing was John Cena has a kid that was there for one of the events. It was the Hell in a Cell, if I remember correctly. It was a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid. He was so excited to see John Cena. We ended up found out who he was. We talked to him, came back with a wrestling belt for him, made the kid's day. I mean, he was telling everybody he has the same belt as John Cena. He got to see John Cena, so it was just an outstanding thing. And just to be able to do something like that with the WWE was phenomenal. It was awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Great stuff. Hey, let's stick with social media here, and I'm going to combine two questions here, Derek, because Baseball Addict wants to know if you can do your Harry Caray impersonation, and then Walden wants to know if you have any superstitions before each start. So can you answer that question in the Harry Caray voice?
Yeah, I'm going to try to do that. We'll see how it goes. Derek Holland's got so many superstitious things, it's unbelievable. Can't touch the white lines. He's got to hop over them every single time. It's unbelievable. He says a couple prayers before the game. Got to get at least 3 of them in there. Gosh almighty, and then sometimes when he's out there, he just can't talk and do anything. He's got to keep to himself and stay focused on the game. How about that?
That is perfect. We actually had Ryan Dempster on the cage earlier this season. We can go back, check the tapes, and see which of you guys does the better Harry Caray impersonation. Back to social we go, Derek, and Big Tex 29 wants to know, who inspired you to become a major leaguer?
Growing up, I followed my brother's footsteps. He was a baseball player at the time. I imitated all of his teammates, whatever they would do, their swings and everything. Started from there, but I always followed his footsteps. And then growing up, I was a diehard fan of Chipper Jones and Andy Pettitte. I know I'm a pitcher, but that's why I was a switch hitter, was because of Chipper Jones. Watching him, wanted to play like him. Obviously left-handed, I couldn't play third base, but that worked out. And then pitching-wise, I wanted to be like Andy Pettitte. Just always loved the way he worked and the way he's gone after everybody. I wanted to be just like him, and I got to achieve one thing out of those two people. Was I got to face off with Andy Pettitte. Unfortunately, it didn't go my way, but at least I can say I got to face him. Match up with him, I should say. That's
certainly pretty cool and not something that a lot of players get the chance to do. Time now for our EDJ question of the day. The question today is, you've played in Texas and Chicago, so barbecue or deep dish?
I definitely got to go with the barbecue. Pizza's great and everything, but I'm more of a barbecue. I love the meat, the ribs, all those things. You bring them out there, that's more my style. I'm definitely going to go with the barbecue. And
you're in Kansas City right now as you do this, so obviously a different kind of option in Kansas City than Texas, but hey, hit some before the game.
There's some good barbecues out here as well. This is a good city. I'm kind of shocked at how cold it is right now, but this is a fun city to be in too, and I love this ballpark. It's a nice looking ballpark too.
All right, we have another fan ready to go here on the Edward Jones chatting cage. Go ahead, tell us your name, where you're from, and ask your question for Derek Holland.
My name is Juan Marcos. I'm from Canton, and my question is, when you were younger, did you collect any baseball cards? And if you did, which one was your favorite player?
Yeah, we definitely collected some baseball cards. My favorite, gosh, I don't know. It's probably got to still be the Chipper Jones cards. But I also have some of the mini cards. I know they don't do it now. They were super tiny. I want to say they came with like 150 in a deck, but that was probably one of the things. But yeah, we collected the baseball cards, the starter figures, or upper deck figures, I think is what it was. We have a bunch of them. My brother actually has them all in Texas right now.
All right, back to social media we go, and Blue Jay Bay 20 wants to know, have you ever considered being a comedian, Derek? They add to that, you're so funny.
I'm just being myself. That's what I want people to see is, go out there, live your life, enjoy yourself. That's kind of the motto I've gotten from a kid that I was really close to before he passed away. Briggs Berry taught me about that. Just go out there, live your life. I can't please everybody, but at least please myself is what it really comes down to. And just have fun, live in the moment, enjoy these moments while you can.
All right, another question here from Twitter. It's from Indy Jeffrey. He wants to know, Derek, what advice do you have for a 12-year-old who wants to play after the high school level?
Oh, enjoy yourself. Play as many sports as you can. One of the big things that I like to tell kids too is we have an off season, so don't try to play baseball all year round. Everybody has an off season. We're professional athletes. We get those times off. Kids should have them too. So play as many sports as you can. Focus on baseball. That's obviously your dream if that's what you want. So stay focused on that, but also work on some other things that's going to help you down the road in life as well.
That's going to do it for this edition of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. We've had some professional wrestling, some Harry Caray, some baseball talk, a little bit of everything. Derek, thanks so much for joining us.
No, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Tune in again next time on the Edward Jones Chatting Cage.